Welcome back. Subject data science in healthcare, and today's topic of discussion is Unit 5, Trends in Healthcare Analytics, Federated Learning. Federated Analytics. How does federated learning work? Why federated learning analytics? Data harmonization challenge in federated context. Graphs and federated approach. So these are the topics we are going to touch today. Okay. Now coming to the first point, uh, what are the major trends in healthcare analytics? So healthcare analytics has evolved because of growth of digital health data, computational power, advanced algorithms. So major trends may be shift from descriptive to predictive and prescriptive analytics, integration of AI and machine learning in diagnosis and prognosis, use of real-time analytics from IoT and wearable devices, privacy preserving analytics such as federated learning, adoption of graph-based models for patient relationships. These trends aim to improve clinical decision making, reduce cost, and enhance patient outcomes. Now, we have seen here the word federated learning. What exactly is federated learning? How it works? It's a decentralized machine learning approach where models are trained across multiple institutions without sharing data. The working is like this. A global model is initialized centrally. The model is sent to participating hospitals. Each hospital trains the model on local data. Only model updates such as weights, gradients are shared. Updates are aggregated to improve the global model. This approach ensures data privacy, regulatory compliance, and collaborative learning. So to understand federated learning further, we'll take one example. We may have to go down. Yeah, give me a minute. Yeah, so I wanted to highlight this example. We would like to copy all your patient data. So let us say we have a centralized healthcare analytics system, and the request made to the hospital is we would like to copy all your patient data into a central repository so that we can analyze it. Now, this statement highlights the core motivation behind federated analytics and federated learning. Why this request is problematic? Because of privacy and confidentiality risks. So healthcare data has sensitive data. Uh, Copying this patient data to a central location may increase the risk of data breaches and misuses. For example, your electronic health records, millions of electronic health records, which are stored in a centralized data lake. So it may be private to cyber attacks, right? Similarly, you have regulatory and legal barriers. We have regulating agencies such as HIPAA, GDPR, DPDP, which have strict control on data sharing. Okay? So if I'm copying patient data, it will violate the data minimization and locality principle. Example, say for example, European hospitals are there. So they are bounded by the European Union rules as far as transferring patient data outside European Union is concerned. Coming to the next issue is institutional trust and ownership issues. So hospitals will be very much reluctant to give all that data set, right? Because there may be legal liability, loss of control, competitive concerns may be there. Now, all this started with a simple request by a centralized healthcare analytics system saying that give us your data and we'll be copying all your data to a central repository. And these were the problems. So what is the solution for all this? So federated analytics and federated learning will be addressing this. So in federated analytics, what will be happening? The centralized request will be reversed. Now, instead of moving the data to computation, the computation is moved to the data. The approach states like that. Keep your data locally. We will send the query or algorithm to your system. Now, in a federated learning ecosystem, models are trained locally. at each hospital using their own data. Only model parameters or gradients are shared with a central coordinator. Examples are hospitals collaboratively train a patient readmission prediction model without sharing raw EHR data. Coming to federated analytics perspective, it will be focusing on sharing aggregated insights rather than the raw data. Local systems will be computing the statistics and they'll be sharing the summary results. Example is, so instead of sharing the individual patient diabetic records, the hospital may share the total patient count, average HbA1c levels and outcome distributions. So this example justifies federated approach because the moment you say we want to copy all your data, it will be exposing the limitation of centralized analytic in healthcare. So federated approaches will be having privacy preservation, legal compliance, scalable alternatives, a collaboration possibility, and without compromising the patient confidentiality. So this is it. This federated analytics and federated learning paradigm will be ensuring privacy preservation, regulatory compliance, institutional trust, making federated approaches the preferred choice for modern healthcare. So that's why we had come to this example to connect with this point. Which point? What is federated learning? How it works? What is federated analytics and what is its significance? Now, here the question speaks about why federated analytics is important in healthcare. So, what federated analytics does, it will be allowing collaborative analysis across multiple institutions, keeping patient data locally. Okay, so a regulatory agency compliances with HIPAA and GDPR, multi-center studies are possible, risk of data breaches is reduced, learning from data diverse population is possible. It is useful in rare disease research and population level studies. Now, the next question in this context related to federated learning is discuss the data harmonization challenges in federated context. So, we know what is data harmonization. What is it? Standardizing heterogeneous data sources. What may be the challenges? You have different coding standards like you have ICD, Snowbed, LOINC. So you have variations in EHR systems. You may be having missing and inconsistent data. You may be having semantic mismatches. So in a federated setting, harmonization has to be achieved without centralizing data. So it becomes more complex, right? The data will be locals, it will not go to central place, and data harmonization is expected. So what is basically data harmonization? We'll be converting all this heterogeneous data from multiple sources into a common, consistent and comparable representation so that meaningful analytics or machine learning is performed. So it becomes more challenging in a federated ecosystem because the data is at the local sites such as hospitals or laboratories and it cannot be centralized due to privacy, legal and ethical constraints. What is the need for data harmonization? Okay, so it enables collaborative model training across healthcare institutions without sharing raw data. Okay, but the institutions may be representing their data differently, so then the model update becomes incompatible. That may result in biased or unreliable global models. So hence harmonization is essential for semantic consistency, model reliability and clinical validity. What may be the major challenges of harmonization? Heterogeneous coding standards, like you have different hospitals may be using ICD-10 or SNOMED, ICT or LONC or RX norm. So say for example, one of the hospitals may be using code for diabetes as ICD-10E11, while the other uses a SNOMED code, which will be causing inconsistency. There may be structural differences in the data models. Data may be stored in vendor-specific EHR schemas or common data models. Example is medication data stored in one table versus separate prescription administration tables. Semantic inconsistencies may be there. Okay, the same term may have different meanings. For example, there is one term called as admission date. Okay, it may refer to a ER entry in one hospital or a ward admission in another hospital. Data quality and missingness may be there. Variation in completeness and recording frequency may be there. Say for example, a hospital may be recording lab values every day, while a hospital and all the values, while some other hospital may be recording values only of abnormal results. There may be temporal misalignments, so timestamps may vary, privacy and regulatory constraints may be there. So, in this challenging environment, how harmonization strategy should be adopted? They should have a common data model such as OMO, ontology-based mapping using SNOMED, LONC or RxName, federated feature engineering with identical pre-processing logic, graph-based representation to handle structural variability. So this is it. The last point is explain graphs and federated approaches in healthcare analytics. So through graph-based models, what we can represent entities like patients, diagnosis, medication, providers as nodes. What are the advantages? They'll be capturing complex relationships, link predictions, and disease progression analysis. They are suitable for federated learning by sharing embedded instead of raw data. Graphs improve interpretability and scalability in healthcare analytics. So that's it for today. Thank you.